September. How I read my cards here. Sorry, I was just checking a couple of things there. How I read my cards is we'll read the main card out, and then we'll do the clarifiers that follow, and then I'll give you sort of a synopsis of the whole thing. And for those of you, again, that are new to my channel, I'll do sort of a summary at the end as well. And as well, you're not all making decisions on a Monday or a Wednesday, so please be aware of that. So you're all going to be on a different timeline, basically. And so if you're going through this energy currently, and it resonates, this is your story. If it is not your story, please check back. Certainly, again, some of you might be going through this energy a little further out. But from the cards that I see here, the main ones out that are the major arcana, and it seems to be September is a pretty significant month that way for major arcana. You have the Emperor, you also have the Fool, and you also have the Hermit. Further, and again, I've sort of sectioned these off, depending on what they relate to in terms of relationships and finances and general energy and blockages, all of that. So what I see here with the King of Cups could be dealing with a Pisces water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There's also something here that comes through in terms of Four of Cups. So there could be some energy around disappointment there as well. And then we've got a new start or something new that is making you pretty excited, I see. But we'll get right into it. All right. So what we're starting out with is the Emperor. So I feel like there is kind of a finishing up of projects or something here. Now, I'm not saying that everything is done right at this point, but for those of you that have already initiated a project, I would say that there is some kind of, it's just a rough approximation. Again, tarot timelines are a little hard to be exact, and certainly it is a general read, so it's not going to be specific enough that we're getting it down to a day. But basically what I would say here is it is a clear path and a very encouraging one that speaks to, progress and momentum and a lot of emotional satisfaction this month. And I would still say the strong emphasis is on structure. It's certainly followed up by Page of Swords. Could be doing a lot of research at this point still. But certainly there's a strong emphasis on structure, inspiration, and really collaborating and aligning things. And again, still a lot of research as well going on here. Two of Cups, again, there's still a lot of decisions to be made here. But just to kind of break it down, I would still say there's a lot of structure and discipline and kind of setting up the foundation for this month. Now, there is something that kind of speaks to starting the month, highly focused. And of course, that's where the Emperor comes in. There is, again, all of that level of structure and planning and, creating an outline for things or really organizing things and getting things in place so that you can take control of your, destiny, basically, a little further out here. Might just shift this over, guys. And again, I know I've got the camera it just felt like doing it today. So it's a little off the cuff. So I didn't really do my little setup there, but either way, I just do it when the mood feels right. So anyway, I feel like you're kind of organizing things. And again, there's still a strong focus. There's a lot of urge to complete things. And you're treating this like a really serious commitment to get things done. I would say, creating more scheduling, you're trying to do something in a really practical way and you're being really solid about getting the work done. So this is really the backbone of what it is that you're doing in the month of September. So again, I still felt there's a lot of curiosity, there's a lot of research. So kind of here with the Page of Swords, there's a lot of active thinking. So it's new ideas, it's anything along that line. So it's refining something or researching. But it definitely is more of an overthinking, perfectionistic. Hi, Marissa. Thanks for joining. Thanks for following along. But I do feel like this is sometimes, perfectionism, or how does that go? Paralysis. Analysis paralysis. There we go. Sorry. So it might be a little of that sort of, it's kind of over focusing on one particular or too many of the details. And so just a reminder, don't get stuck in the details. I am doing a tarot read. That's what this one is for Libra. And this is showing, you're making progress. Page of Cups is also kind of getting ready to make some decisions and that kind of thing. So I feel like you're really shaping the material or getting ready to sort of generate things. That's what's happening. And this could be mid to late September, where there's more of an alignment or a more strong commitment to what you're doing. So you're creating a lot of structure in the beginning of the month in September. And then I feel like things really start to get aligned and kind of flow little better. Ten of Cups, this is something that's long-term legacy. Oh, your sister's birthday's in September. Yeah, don't I feel like there's a lot of October birthdays. I've never really, it doesn't seem like there's too many September birthdays I've heard of, but I love that. Happy birthday to your sister when we get there. But yeah, I feel like this is more of mid to late September, like I said, where there's going to be more of a connection to something that's a long-term project. So this is alignment, this is commitment. This is certainly creative breakthrough energy, and you're definitely aligned with your purpose. And again, I feel like it's a good time to kind of get some feedback as well with that Two of Cups energy. Um, from other people. So you might be having conversations about things that you're doing, but either way, it makes you feel very motivated. But you're really reconnected to your why. And I feel like you are, really understanding why you're on track here. So that's why I say, like, I feel like that's why there's so much more progress in this month. It's very motivated flow. Um, and I would say it's emotionally rewarding and it really keeps you balanced. And especially with the Ten of Cups, this is more late September kind of energy, but I feel like it's a really positive sign that you're either going to finish something and it's ready to go, or you feel very complete and satisfied with a major part of what it is that you're doing. So even though the progress, is very close to the finish line, because that is a 10 with the 10 of Cups, it still feels like there might be some things to kind of work on with the Knight of Wands. So again, end of September, kind of into October, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of passion, burst of final energy as well, that comes through with this card. So you might need some polishing, you might need to kind of wrap up something, or deliver it a certain way, or get a little more information on how to sort of present it. But either way, I feel like this is that energy of something moving fast into the next phase. And this may be where you're sharing things too, because we had that Two of Cups there as well. So again, I feel like, again, start of September, you're kind of taking control of the setting, more structure, more routine. You're really in that Emperor mode. Early September, you're still refining, researching, a lot more progress. But it's definitely a lot of mental energy as well. Mid September, again, there's more of an emotional connection, more flow, more support, more commitment, especially with the Two of Cups. Could be also involving other people, more decision making coming in. And again, that's late September. And then we also have that 10 of Cups in there too, with the Page of Swords going right back here with the Emperor. So this is really all the energy that kind of speaks to finalizing something. So a lot of momentum, again, by the end of September is really where I see things. So yes, you're very likely to kind of be on track to sort of finish something or get very close in the final stretch to the end of something by the end of September or early October, because the emotional tone with that 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups suggests that you're feeling really proud, really connected to your work, and it definitely is showing that even if there is something that still remains to be done with the Knight of Wands, you're finalizing it quickly, or you're getting it done really quickly. So there's a lot of creative flow in there too. And then we kind of move this into, sorry, we're going to move on to the next one, which is the card of Fool. So the card of the Fool is the new adventure. This is the new beginning, and it is a really powerful beginning, but it does speak to more lightness, more freedom, more feeling like you've got, more of a moving forward with open kind of energy. Now, when I see the Knight of Cups, this is also still moving energy, but it's also with more of a sense of feeling more available, more excited, more, you feel freer in some way. It's like a bit of an emotional reset of sorts. And I would say you feel like you're releasing a lot of baggage and getting more done. So it's like you're giving yourself permission to kind of explore something new here. Now, the Knight of Cups, like I said, can also be creativity, but it can also be emotional offers, or something that's heart based. So it's either, an emotional thing that's coming towards you, or something that you're putting out into, the world. But either way, it can be both, but it is something that's still a card of emotion moving toward you or around you. So it feels like you're more willing to be more open as well. And again, if you're interested in a relationship, this would be that romantic energy coming through, softening of your own emotional energy, and more receptive, because there's a lot more creativity and a lot more flow this month, and a lot more inspiration. So I feel like you're following your intuition, your intuitive nudges this month as well, but a lot of artistic expression for sure coming through. Temperance is that card of wisdom, intuition, balance, and it's certainly emotional healing. But again, it's a card of patience. So there is something that still kind of speaks to a deep message of internal peace. And so, again, this may be you healing from extremes and finding your own rhythm again, but you're calmer, you're less reactive, you're more grounded, there's closure, there's more of a divine timing kind of supporting you in this sort of range. Now, the next set of cards were the Four of Cups. Now, this is where there's a little less, happy, and we're kind of in that space of, and again, it's like, even though I see this, I will say that September feels like it brings you back to yourself again in some way, where you get a feeling of starting over in some way. You feel more whole, more open, more emotionally connected to things. So I still feel like you're in that space of, because this is the blockage cards that I asked about, the Four of Cups is your blockage. Not only is the Four of Cups the blockage, but we also have the Star card, and that's followed up by the Page of Wands, and then, of course, the Two of Swords. So this could be stagnancy. This could be a blockage and around a younger person here as well. And it could be child. And certainly with the Star, it's a lack of sort of healing something. But the Four of Cups, it's like a bit of a letdown or something in some way. So again, there's emotional flatness or a bit of disconnection with that particular area of your life. But I would say overall, there's also this fear of disappointment, or there's an uncertain direction or something there around this other entity, because it's a page, could be a water sign here as well. But I feel like there's a resistance to make a decision and to fully step into something because of this one connection here. So again, there's something that's emotionally off, but I still feel for the most part you're still fairly whole on other levels. But emotionally, there is something here that you feel like you've missed an opportunity around. And again, this could be a water sign, but there could be a level of healing that's not quite there yet. So, and again, this may be that you're overlooking a blessing of some sort, because, it's just something didn't look how you expected, possibly here as well. Or you could be still attached to a previous disappointment. So that may be closing off a little bit of the energy to some extent. So you're a little bit stuck in the past, overlooking something meaningful. Now, if the Star is coming up as a blockage, that definitely is an indication that there is some shaken hope. So you're feeling a little bit more doubt of some sort. And again, this could be around struggle to believe that your own future or path, or your own believing in your own potential, is not there. But again, it feels like, things do actually get better. So this moment could cause you to sort of hesitate and create a bit of a blockage, because it's like a hidden fear that something won't happen, or that it's happening too late. Now, what I would say with that Page of Wands is it's kind of scattered energy to some extent. I would say, because the initial card started out as having, creating more structure, I would feel like this is energy that you're coming out of. So it's like you've lacked maybe clarity, confidence, or focus, and it's kind of an immature energy, and it feels like you're now sort of bouncing back by creating more structure to get things done. So I feel like there's something you're excited about, but there may be still a bit of an unclear direction or a hesitation to kind of act on something here as well. But again, it's also indicating this could be in around a fire sign, fire sign, not water sign, but fire sign, and certainly in around a level of stagnation, possibly with a certain level of inspiration. But either way, I would say that's the blockage. It doesn't mean it is blocking. It's just a blockage that you'll have to consider to, get through. So it's a bit of a mental stalemate of sorts. So again, it's like you feel like you're being pushed or pulled in two directions, head and heart, that kind of thing. Maybe not sure about what is right there. And you're still trying to choose a safe path. So I feel like I said, for the most part, I feel like you're reconnecting with your why in the month of September, but maybe you have a reserve about September altogether. Maybe there's something that, something that keeps cropping up for you that creates this blockage. But again, it's not really a blockage unless you keep it a blockage. But I feel like you don't know exactly where something will lead. So again, starting small, because I feel like there's an over perfectionistic kind of block as well in the beginning. But once you make a decision, even if it's imperfect, you choose something. That indecision is draining energy. So I feel like that's once you make the decision about what helps you to align faster, I feel like that's where you start more routine, and then you really start to produce. So there's something within you that believes that, you believe in the joy, you believe in the possibility of something. But again, there's like a little bit of a brick wall, but it's not really a brick wall. So it's like a temporary sort of situation, or temporary fog, or temporary lack of confidence, or something in there. So now we're getting into a connection, and this is where I had that water sign. That's what it was, because I kept seeing the King of Swords out there. Now, this could be for some of you a legal matter, contract, something like that, dealing with a father figure, or dealing with a water sign. And again, there's something here about that with the hangman. There's still that stuck energy. And because it came out with the other one too, this could be dealing with more of an emotional depth, or a temporary pause as well. So something feeling like there needs to be a healing and a reconnection, especially when it's next to the Four of Wands. Could be around family, or somebody who feels like family, somebody you've known for a really long time here. But again, King of Cups is a mature energy. That's beginning of the month of September. And again, it's like a wise, emotionally sound, mature energy. So it's somebody who has compassion and calm in situations, and tends to kind of come off as, with leadership kind of qualities, whether this is you or someone else, or again, a father figure. But I feel like this is emotionally the charged undercurrent of things. So I feel like you, or both of you, will be managing your emotions maturely. There is a lot of love here. It's deep, it's unspoken, and it feels like you both have this ability to maybe not react at all times. I feel like, because of that, there's a healing tone between you. Like, it's almost like there's a gentle, slow start with this connection. It's like the trust really builds slowly, because the hangman tells me it has been something of a situation where you've had to change your perspective and pause and surrender to some new beginning here, which is of course the Four of Wands. But either way, it feels like the connection was stalled, distant, suspended. It's not a rejection, but it is a necessary pause. And I say that because one or both of you needs to see the relationship differently. So it's a possible space to reflect again about, how you will deal with things going forward in terms of how you present to each other. So again, I feel like the Four of Wands tells me there's some sense of harmony or reconnection, an emotional milestone of some sort, a homecoming, that kind of thing. These are all things that come up with this card. So it tells me toward the end of the month, this is where there's more of a potential of a reunion, or a positive tone overall, or more of an emotional exchange. And certainly there is more of a mutual understanding. So again, it's not a grand breakthrough, but it is something that is feeling more stable, more, structured, and it certainly feels like there is more of a meaningful moment anyway in this connection. So it is a healing tone. It's a warming up. It's a more of a grounded emotional bridge, I guess is maybe the word, to rebuild. So again, overall, I feel like September is not about pushing through. It's about you kind of being on the path. Actually, I didn't get to these final cards over here too. But we're going to start with these other ones here, which is, we're going to pull us down. This is the card of the Hermit. And of course, the Hermit, these are the final cards here. This is more along the lines of your finances. So also advice to you just in terms of that connection, I would say just stay emotionally steady, even if someone pulls back. Trust that there's a deeper emotional current between you both. And I would say that just giving space, not closing each other off, just the quietness is important. It's not disconnection, it's just quietness. So, a kind word, a shared moment, anything that is like a brick to rebuild the trust again is what I would say there. Now, getting into the final cards here, this is all about the finances. And I would say overall, I mean, there is some feeling of being alone in the way that you deal with things, because I feel like you're needing to go inward, reassess a plan. This is about budgeting, or a phase of pause before action. It's reflective space because you're trying to gain some clarity or insight around the finances. Now, this, of course, tells me that their key tone is really about planning and internal inventory. Step back before you make any moves, because the Five of Coins is that card of lack, and it's a concern or an anxiety around money. And it could be tight cash flow here as well, or something is perceived as a loss. But there's a lot of cards here that still speak to, could be dealing with somebody from the past, or getting help or assistance from someone from the past. But I feel like you have been generally feeling unsupported as well in terms of finances or resources. So I would still say, don't isolate. You've got help here as well with this in this month. This is probably mid-September. It marks some kind of a turning point here, and it does mean that the past is offering some support. So gesture, repayment, reconnecting to something where everybody's kind of back on track and with that original purpose. Seven of coins, again, things are aligning with with the original purpose, with the goals. And again, it's support. So it does speak to, um, because this is more mid to late September. Oh, yeah. Hi, Allie. Shout out. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the Seven of Coins, like I said, is kind of a steadiness. It's a pause. It's a long-term evaluation, evaluating progress, figuring out what it is that you want to invest in. But it's definitely paired next to a positive card with also fast incoming positive card with the sun. So this does tell me, like, it's something like delayed gratification. So I would say there's something here about your patience is building something solid. Even if you don't see it yet, the energy is still going to be picking up pretty quickly here. And it's like news, progress, movement related to money or the arrival of a payment or something where you get an opportunity or a clear decision, something like that. And again, this can be unlocking the next phase of financial thing, which again, when it's right next to the sun, that's coming in pretty clear that you've got some kind of joy, warmth, or success or something you're getting really clear on. It helps you feel a lot more optimistic. So, like I said, I mean, this is stepping out of survival and kind of getting back into a period of thriving. So overall in September, I feel like you're still starting out the month with retreat, fear, quiet, solitude, feeling lack, feeling alone, like you don't have a lot of support. Mid-month, there's kind of that emotional grounding, and then the support arrives, six and the seven of coins. And then by the end of the month, fast movement, joy, and then there's that financial clarity, but where the money's coming from. And then there's like that underlying energy overall, which was bottom of the deck, which is the strength card. And that basically confirms that it's a test of your endurance. It's not a loss here. This is more about overcoming and not failing. So again, you begin September uncertain, unsupported, or feeling something along that line, but there's possibly this major emotional or financial breakthrough by the end of the month. So that's what I have for you for the month of September. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight because, like I said, I see emotional and financial validation for you toward the end of the month. So that's looking pretty good. We'll do some other reads for you, but that's what I have for you for the month of September 2025 or whenever you find this. Keep moving forward, guys. Thanks for dropping in, Marissa, Allie, and hello to all of you. And we'll see you in the next read. Take care. Keep moving forward.